What we want to talk about next is the fact that everyone is unique. Something that works for one person may not work for you. Remember, 99% of us do this sport for fun. I moved up an age group this past season, and all I did was compare myself to this one particular racer who is a champion, who has been at Kona many times, who has won the duathlon world championship. This guy is really, really great. And all I worried about every single race was, can I beat this guy? Well, honestly, I can't, but it kind of egged at me and eked at me and hurt me all season long, the fact that I was not doing what I expected to do against this guy. Well, I didn't set my goals. I didn't focus on my goals. I focused on him and his abilities. This kind of took the joy out of my racing in 2022. So in 2023, I am not going to compare myself to anyone else, and you shouldn't either. Because remember, comparison is the thief of joy. So stop all the negative talk, all the cutting yourself down, and all the comparing yourself to others. Have fun, set your goals, set your priorities, and go out there and crush it. Beginner or experienced, all of us have or will make mistakes in triathlon racing. This video is designed to help you to avoid some of these mistakes that I've made in the past. So if you're ready to go for 2023, stay right here because I'm going to bring you some really great information. So one of my biggest mistakes I make year after year after year after year is dropping my core and strength workouts right when I get busy and have time constraints. This is something I'm going to work really, really hard to not do this year because a solid core wins the war. You know, your core connects your upper body with your lower body. A strong core in swimming will keep your legs from dropping. In cycling, it keeps your back from bouncing in the arrow position, keeps you from having a sore back when you get off the bike, and you can create more power. In running, it keeps your forward tilt at your ankles and not at your hips, because your upper body is connected to your lower body. It also brings your arms and your legs more in connection with each other to bring you forward momentum. Here's one I see way too often. I go into these races and I get in line to do check-ins and I get in and go walking around in the expos and see people walking around with absolutely no hydration with them. Always, always, always hydrate before the race. There's absolutely no excuse in the world to go anywhere the day before a race without hydration. Actually though, you should start hydrating 3 to 4 days before the race, especially if you're going to travel to the race, and really, really important to hydrate if you're going to be on an airplane, because those things will dry you out like you wouldn't believe. When you get to the race, you want to spend as little time in the sun as you possibly can. I made this mistake because I'm shooting these YouTube videos. I've gotten to the race, I walk around, got my camera out, taking all kinds of videos, interviewing people, and spend 2, 3, 4 hours out in the sun the day before the race. What a bad mistake that was. To help with that, I do suggest, if it's available, to get to check-in 2 days before the race. This is available on a lot of the Ironman races. Get your expo shopping done, get back to the hotel and relax. Day before the race, take your bike down, check your bike in, get in your car, drive the bike course, but then never, ever, ever be caught without hydration. Don't make the mistake of not paying attention to your equipment. Last year, I did a mistake in my equipment that literally cost me 2 toenails. When it comes to your bike, you want to make sure you do several things. Number one is, before you start training, make sure that your bike is in good condition. Check and make sure your chain is in good condition, lubed, and you keep your bike clean and working well. Make sure you check your tire conditions, your derailleurs, make sure everything is in good working condition. Then, about 3 weeks before the race, and I say this 3 weeks before the race because last year I did it a week and a half before the race, found a broken part I couldn't get fixed, had to have it welded, I scrambled around, it was a lot of stress that I didn't need to go through. About 3 weeks before the race, take it in, have a really, really, really good tune-up done to your bike. Other things you have to make sure is the condition of your helmet. You want to look your helmet over, you want to make sure the internal conditions of your helmet are good, you want to make sure your straps are good, your clips are good, and that the outside condition of your helmet is fine. This one was my race helmet from last year. It cracked my last race. It's seen its last race. If you find issues with your helmet, get a new one. The other thing you want to make sure you check on is your kit and your shoes. Now, this is where I had my problem. My elastics dry rotted and I didn't check them when I went to put my shoes on for the race. Pop, they were in an elastic shoelace. I had loose shoes. I had to tie them up any way I possibly could. Ran 13.1 miles. Absolute disaster on my feet. Horrible on my calves. Everything moved around. Make sure if you want to crush your goals on race day that you check your equipment well. If you're finding value from this video, drop down below. Give me a thumbs up. Tell me in the description what are the mistakes that you made last year that you're going to fix during the 2023 season. Also, there's a link for the GOAL CRUSHER T-shirt. So on our list of things not to do in a triathlon would be skimping on training. Triathlon is difficult. It takes lots of time and lots of dedication to reach your goals. Skimping on training sessions can be tempting, but it can negatively impact your goals. Sounds easy. Just skip one here, skip one there, we're good to go. But it can negatively impact your progress and your performance in the race. But as an age group athlete, our time is really stressed. We have home, we have work, and we have obligations that take necessary time. Consistency is actually the key. Your body needs regular stimulation to become more efficient. We understand that life can get in the way, and every once in a while, you're going to have to miss a training session. Don't make a habit of it. But missing too many training sessions, that's gonna cause you to lose endurance, to lose strength, and have a very serious negative impact on your race goals. A huge mistake that you can make that I made last year is overtraining, pushing past what your body can do, and it'll cause injury very close to the race where you have no time to recover. The very common mistake that I made was just running too much. I wanted to build my running speed. I wanted to build my running endurance. I wanted to be a runner, which I'm not really a great runner, but I pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, ran and ran and ran and ran. I thought I had given myself a little bit of plantar fasciitis, which I knew how to handle. But after 2 or 3 weeks of trying to get myself back in shape from the plantar fasciitis, I realized it was something else. Now I went down, had my feet checked, found out that what it was all the running I'd done is forced my foot into a different position, and I was running on my heel and on my toe, spent a bunch of money, got the right inserts, got back going again, but I lost 6 weeks of training heading into a half Ironman race. Well, you would think after over 100 triathlons that I would be smart enough to have this next tip down pat, which I didn't. Last year, I ended up going to a race thinking I had it all covered, and then found out what I didn't do is schedule my day in advance. I rode my bike from the Airbnb to the venue, set up my transition, and then went off and did all kinds of fun stuff, videotaping and things, until a friend of mine said, "Hey, what are you doing over here? You've got 5 minutes before the start of the race." I literally had to run back to transition, get my wetsuit on, get back, and literally ran in the water as my wave took off. My suggestion to you is don't do that. Have a schedule ready to go and follow it on race morning. Make sure you give yourself enough time to eat, hydrate, do other bodily functions, and get to the race with plenty of time to spare, because cutting it close causes unnecessary anxiety and stress on race morning that can ruin your race. Because getting that couple of extra minutes of sleep literally means nothing in the grand scheme of the race. You're better off to go ahead and get to the race venue early to be able to methodically set up your transition, get in a warm-up, and get your head mentally ready for the race. You know you trained really hard for this race, so why let being late cause an issue? One of the biggest fights I have with a brand new athlete is recovery. You know, they sign on and they're expecting me to give them this massive amount of workouts and push them past their limits, and they're gonna get stronger and they're gonna get faster, and then they get these days off. What's this days off stuff? You're supposed to push me harder. But I build in recovery with all of my athletes, and I suggest that for you too, because workouts weaken you. Workouts destroy muscle. Workouts kill cells, and the recovery is what allows your body to replenish those cells. And what I've read in different studies is anything from 1.25 to 2 cells per 1 cell that's killed off. That's why you see people build the muscular system that they're training for. Admit it, we all do it. We blame time, we blame energy, we blame the fact that we just don't think we need it. What is that? Warm-ups, and cool downs. The best way to prevent injuries. I suggest that you adopt a dynamic warm-up. And what I mean by that is something that gets your blood flowing and gets your heart rate up before you start your workout, because a slow start is not a warm-up. You're more apt to be wasting your time slow starting than you are doing a dynamic warm-up. Swim, bike, run, or gym, each one of our different types of workouts takes a little bit different warm-up. So what does a warm-up do for you? A warm-up is going to raise your heart rate and get your blood flowing through your muscles, delivering more oxygen, getting them ready and primed to go for that workout. And a cool down does just the opposite. It allows your heart rate to come down, it allows your muscles to relax, again, allowing blood flow into your muscles, giving you the beginning parts of your recovery. I got links down below for my cool down routine and for my pool warm-up routine. Check them out. The next mistake I want to talk to you guys about is nutrition and how I didn't stick to my plan. I have a good plan. I didn't stick to it during the season last year. I'm not going to do that again this year, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this plan right here, and that I suggest for you too. This is Coach John. Boom. I'm out.